This is Bharat FM.
बजेगा भारत, झूमेगा भारत.
ये है भारत FM.
बजेगा भारत, झूमेगा भारत.
दोस्तों नमस्कार, आदाब, सत श्री अकाल, वड़क्कम, वेलकम आप सभी का भारत एफएम के इस कार्यक्रम में जिसका के नाम है रूबरू. इसमें आप सभी का तहे दिल से स्वागत है. मैं हूं आपका दोस्त और आपका होस्ट आरजे आशीष. और आज जिनसे हम मुलाकात कर रहे हैं, जिनसे हम रूबरू हो रहे हैं, उनका नाम है वैद्य अश्लेषा राउत. अब बिफोर आई हैव Vaidya Ashlesha Raut talk to us, I wanted to give a little brief introduction about her. So Vaidya Ashlesha Raut is the reason I'm stressing on Vaidya. It's for the most people, you might not know what Vaidya means. It's basically an Ayurvedic physician. So Ashlesha Raut is a third generation Vaidya, practicing Ayurveda for 20 years and has been an integral part of the global holistic healing community with a mission towards providing a holistic path for wellness and optimal health through Ayurveda and integrative medicine. Ashlesha has conducted a large number of educational workshops, authored publications, participated in radio, TV, social media talk shows, and presented research papers in the field of Ayurveda in USA and India. Ashlesha is passionate about teaching and has taught in various Ayurveda colleges in multiple states in the USA and continues to serve as faculty in various universities. Ashlesha strongly believes spreading Ayurveda consciousness is a global need today for achieving health for all, and this can be seeded and spread through research. She started her Ayurveda career as a research scientist at Shree Dhootapapeshwar, sorry to mess that up, Dhootapapeshwar Research Foundation, and also worked in Cipla R&D as a medical director. Lamar, an Ayurvedic division of Cipla in Mumbai, India. While doing the research job, she always continued her clinical practice in Mumbai. Ashlesha continues her research, clinical practice, educational work, publications, and presentations in Ayurveda at various conferences in USA and India. As director and chief clinician at Ayurveda For Healing Inc, Vaidya Ashlesha Raut maintains an Ayurveda Wellness Center where she practices Ayurveda in Bloomington, Chicago, Illinois, and the Midwest region. She is also a program director at Ananda Ayurveda Academy, which provides authentic and experiential learning in Ayurveda. Welcome, Vaidya Ashlesha Raut.
Thank you, Ashish ji.
तो अश्लेषा जी, आज जो हमारा ये कार्यक्रम है रूबरू, इसमें हम बेसिकली, जैसे कि आप जानते हैं, हम आपकी जो जर्नी है बचपन से अभी तक की, उसके बारे में बात करेंगे. एंड टुवर्ड्स द एंड आप अभी जो काम कर रहे हो आयुर्वेद के क्षेत्र में, उसके बारे में हम बात करेंगे. और आपका फ्यूचर प्लान क्या है? वी विल टॉक ऑल अबाउट दैट, स्टार्टिंग राइट फ्रॉम योर चाइल्डहुड डेज. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द प्रोग्राम. Where were you born? How was your childhood?
So, as you know, my whole education happened in Mumbai, and there was where I was born. To be very specific, I was born in Shivaji Park area, which is a very poor area.
Yes.
If you are aware of Mumbai.
I am from Mumbai, so I know Shivaji Park. Yes. Yeah.
Wonderful. So Shivaji Park area mein, there is a hospital, of course, there where I was born. And again, since you are in Mumbai, you would know Bal Mohan Vidya Mandir.
Yes, of course I do.
So I was a student of Bal Mohan Vidya Mandir. And then in that area, or at that time, always everybody would do, Bal Mohan, and then they will go to Rubaru. So I went to Rubaru.
Oh, so you went to Ruparel too. Okay.
Okay, yeah. And then from there, I went to, Poddar Medical College, RA Poddar Medical College,
Correct.
which is in Worli.
Right.
And there I did my the MD Ayurveda. So I did. When I say generally, typically people would say MD means yaha. In US, typically it has been understood it as a allopathic medical doctor, but I'm not a MD in allopathic medical doctor. I'm a MD in Ayurvedic medicine.
करेक्ट तो बचपन जो आपका बीता डिड यू लिव इन दादर एज वेल और वेयर
Yeah.
डिड you
So
lived in दादर as well? Okay.
yeah, I presently my mom's house is in Prabhadevi.
अच्छा.
I have my house also there in Prabhadevi, but we live here, of course. But my whole childhood went exactly in Shivaji Park. Properly.
अच्छा. ओके ओके
Yeah.
तो आपके बचपन के दिनों से टेल अस अ लिटिल बिट अबाउट योर चाइल्डहुड डेज व्हाट काइंड ऑफ चाइल्ड यू वर व्हाट यूज्ड टू फैसिनेट यू एज अ चाइल्ड एंड is there anything that you remember from your childhood days that has created an impact on you and made you the person that you are today?
So childhood was really, really very happy. I don't remember any sad memories or anything. It was we
Wow.
were blessed, totally blessed, to have a beautiful family. We were in we had a joint family. The meaning of joint family is we had my dad would have four four. I had four uncles, so they all used to live together.
Wow.
Five families in that sense, but we would not say five families, we would say the whole one family.
Joint family, one family, right?
In that sense it was a joint family. In Shivaji Park we had two houses, I mean close to each other, and it's like it was a big fun those days. And so I actually grew up with all my cousins, my aunts and uncle together, and never felt that we are cousins. It is always, until now we have that close connection. So, and the main thing was I was the youngest one in the
Oh,
whole
okay.
family.
You were pampered.
Yeah, you can say that. And that's the reason maybe I was well, I'm saying I'm lucky. Really, it was very joyful. We used to walk to school, and we have to cross the Shivaji Park to walk to school.
Right.
Always, if you know again where is the Balmohan,
Yeah.
you could see from the some few buildings just away from the Shivaji Park, so you could see the Shivaji Park
You
Gymkhana.
could see your school from your home.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So it was really fun, and as I said, again a typical Dadar and that Shivaji Park area. Like you would go to school, have fun, go and play on in Shivaji Park. There is a big park, that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would do that, and there was a Dadar Chowpatty also. So anything happens, happiness, sadness, everything, you have to go and sit on Chowpatty. And I
Right.
really miss that. Seriously miss that here after coming. And I'm in Chicago area, though we have, Chicago.
Beaches. Yeah.
Like, yeah, there we would have a Michigan Lake, but not really the sea.
Lake is a lake, ocean is an ocean, right?
Yes, ocean. I do miss that ocean.
Right.
Always have that affinity towards ocean.
That
And
is right.
as I said, anything. I mean, if you are happy, then you go and celebrate on the Dadar Chowpatty. You are sad, then also you go and sit in there and just watch the ocean.
Right.
So everything was so natural and so normal. Yeah, that's how those days were beautiful days. I got admissions and everything happened properly.
Right.
Nothing like yeah.
So in your family, was there anybody else who was either studying Ayurveda or who was already a Vaidya in your family, or anybody whom you knew who was inclined towards Ayurveda?
Absolutely. As I said, I'm a third generation Vaidya, which means my grandfather was Vaidya. My
Oh.
father was also Vaidya, and that's how I am. In fact, my mother is also a Vaidya, and my
Wow.
brother is also a Vaidya. So we all actually, you can say it is Ayurvedic family. I
Very
have
nice.
my sister is also Vaidya. So that's how somehow we were. I just knew Ayurveda. It was not that someone has to taught me. I mean, of course, I went to school and that has to be done. And in the same respect, I'm saying that I'm a third generation Vaidya. Typically, when I say this here in US, people think, oh, you just get something because you are third generation, means you get the knowledge automatically. Well, it is not so. My grandfather also went to school and became a Vaidya. My father, of course, went to school and even he was Vaidya. And that's how I am also Vaidya.
I
So
see.
you have to earn the degree of Vaidya. You have to go to the proper, take the proper education, give those exams and do all residency and all those things. And then you become a Vaidya. So of course,
So
from the beginning, I just knew that I'm going to be a
you're going
doctor.
to be a Vaidya. So did at any point in time it occur to you that you would not want to be a Vaidya? You want to be something else?
Well, not exactly that way, but I did have some other interest. If you could, I mean, since you are asking me, I used to, play in dramas. I had
Oh,
that affinity for acting. Not that I wanted to go to Bollywood and act, but in my school days, I have represented school, and we went for the drama competitions and presented school there. Not only that, even after my when I went to college, I presented there also, even won the prize of the best actress. So that also happened, but that was still a hobby, not that I would consider seriously as a profession. And
I
as I
see.
said, I used to go to my dad's clinic always, and had this automatically had that affinity. And he was also from the Poddar Medical College.
I see.
So
So
that
your all
connection,
three generation have studied at the same place?
yeah,
Oh,
yes.
wow. That's awesome. So tell me one thing. You mentioned about acting. It's your hobby, I understand. But have you kept with your hobby even now?
So not directly that I got chance to keep that hobby here, but I do have done many dance shows, and not, as I said, not directly the drama, but all these other things, that singing or dancing. And here we have a Marathi mandal, and
Acha.
there in Ganesh Utsav or some other things, I would do that. Or we also have MCI is a McLean County India Association. There also in those programs, I mean, they would have the programs, right? In those programs, also I had this opportunity to.
That's very nice. So you have kept yourself active in that field, which is your hobby. That is very nice.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Ashlesha, tell us, should I call you Dr. Ashlesha or Vaidya Ashlesha? You tell me.
You're free to call me whatever.
No, I
I've
would like
done
to make sure that, since I'm not from Ayurveda field, I'm not sure if it makes more sense to call you a Vaidya or a doctor.
No,
That,
that is fine. And actually, as you know, Vaidya means doctor, Ayurvedic
I
doctor.
know,
So you can
but
call me Dr. Ashlesha, that is fine.
that's
In
fine. Okay.
my
All
all
right.
students call me that way,
That's
So
awesome. Okay. So the next question that I had is you mentioned that you're the third generation doing this Ayurveda. How difficult did your parents or your grandfather, your dad or your grandfather ever mention it to you? How difficult it is to become an Ayurveda Vaidya in front of so many allopathy doctors all around you? How do you decide to make a career out of this, wherein like that it is definitely going to be a challenge? How do you do that?
there are many things, and I would like to explain certain things here.
Sure.
Uh, See that when we say three generations, the all three generations are really generations. I mean, they are well, what my grandfather had the problem would definitely my father would not have, right? And what
Correct.
he had that I would not have.
That's right.
Every time the situation was different. So let me tell you again, my grandfather was doing the complete only Ayurveda practice. Whereas when my father became Ayurvedic doctor, his curriculum was way different than my grandfather's curriculum. And that was more of the integrative curriculum, where you would learn the allopathic medicine and the Ayurvedic medicine. And somewhat that same kind of and advanced further was my curriculum as well. So we were maybe that was the reason why my dad was always more on the integrative aspect of Ayurveda. Ayurveda is absolutely necessary, and it was his dream also that you should spread the Ayurveda knowledge of Ayurveda, because when you learn both the sciences, you could actually see that yes, you could give so many much more by knowing this Ayurveda. Are you getting my point? Like you
Yes.
know simply because there are certain restrictions, and at the same time, you have the help of allopathic medicine where you know that okay, Ayurveda will take time, and then you would give this medicine first and control the disease, and then not to happen again. You can have so many Ayurvedic options there.
So are you saying that even though you are a Vaidya, which is an Ayurvedic doctor, you have also studied allopathy?
So my curriculum is like that I mean that was like that, and now also which curriculum runs, I think it's almost 20 years ago now, but I'm sure that's how the curriculum goes. In India we have this facility that we do learn complete, uh, like not complete but definitely major part of allopathic medicine also and Ayurvedic medicine also. So for example, let me tell you, though we also do the dissections on the dead bodies and learn the anatomy, how
Ach-
it will happen in an MBBS school, right?
Okay.
We also would do the labs of physiology, how it would happen in the first year MBBS. And we would also learn the pharmacology, and we would also learn the medicine. And in fact, Harrison, we used to use that one of the medicine, understanding for the deeper of the medicine. And then again, at the same time, we would learn the Charaka Samvita and Shushruta Samvita and all these major Ayurvedic textbooks. So the program itself is difficult. I would say that, my friends who went for the allopathic medicine, they would that is also huge. I'm not at all saying that it is not huge, but at least we used to learn both the things and completely engrossed in studies only. We would not get any other time to do anything else, because it's a huge syllabus how you would have.
Right. So tell me one thing. I'm just curious about this. Why is Ayurveda in a state that it is in right now? And well, let's first hear it out why from you, and then I'll come to the next question.
So yeah, if you are referring that people are thinking it's still as a folk medicine, and still people go more and the choice is first for the allopathy medicine, I would say the reason is totally ignorance and nothing else. Now, why that ignorance? That is something to be really learn about. We must need why. I mean, it is a native, right? Ayurveda is a native of Bharat. Bharat, that is there where it was born. We proudly say that yes, the Vedic culture was so advanced, and when whole culture is advanced, the medicine aspect of that culture would be definitely advanced, right?
Hmm.
Why was that? And then we really need to go and take a great actual dig deeper into the history, and you would see that in the history again, it is a history of Bharat, when it was called as Bharat, not as just India.
Yeah. Right.
So the whole uh, the history shows that the country was invaders invaded the country at least for 1,000 years.
Hmm.
So can you imagine 1,000 years? And then you see again, this is the again beauty of Ayurveda, that it is such an old thing, such an ancient thing, that it stays there from almost 5,000 years, and it still continued still after these invasions. In fact, when in the medieval age, when Alauddin Khilji, he was he was a robber, I would say. I mean, he was a king who actually looted India again, and at his period of time, and that was in the northern part of India, he actually burned the Takshila and Nalanda universities. These universities was huge. And
Hmm.
people used to come from outside India to just actually learn these all other sciences like Ayurveda or Jyotish or Vastu, or there are so many. But when he started ruling in that area, he literally demolished completely these universities.
Hmm.
And still there were uh, pandits or vaidyas who would know just by hearted all the science. They just knew the science, like everything was on their tongue. So he actually burned them. So
Oh my.
such a horrible things have been happen, and that is the period when actually Ayurveda started declining.
Hmm.
Now, the unfortunate the story of Ayurveda or even the Bharat was not only that, and of course, and everybody knows this, then actually East India Company came around 1750 or so. On since then, the British Raj came. Now, British Raj further actually demolished Ayurveda completely. Their interest was very obvious. They wanted to sell their medicine there, and all these other previous kings who were invading and did something, Mughals basically, they did all that, but they did not even at least create the negative image which was created by the Britishers.
Hmm.
So Britishers actually created a very inferiority image of Ayurveda, that Ayurveda is something inferior.
Hmm.
The way they created the whole image of Sanskrit, the same way they created the image of Ayurveda also. And they said this is something superstitious thing. There is no such thing as soul and all. And, that thing and the spiritual aspect of Ayurveda was completely misunderstood at that time, or they purposely did it, whatever that they did. But that happened, and they stopped all the colleges or schools or whatever that time. And that was really the time when Ayurveda went underground. Now, when I say underground, it has a meaning. Seriously, in the real world, it went underground. So I have heard these stories from my grandma, and her father used to actually also a Vaidya, but he was not actual Vaidya in the sense he didn't go to school and learn. So what, on the outside part, he was just a farmer, okay. But then at the end of the day, when all your farming thing has been done, he would have go into his basement, and then he will prepare the Ayurvedic medications. And then people used to come, and that's how my grandma would know much more about Ayurveda also. And then
Okay.
they used to give the medicine. I mean, in her childhood she had done that. So this is what I'm saying, that undergrounding of the Ayurveda happened.
Hmm. Hmm. I see.
And that's the period, because if you go openly, then maybe you will be caught and you will be put it in a jail, or that much bad thing was there.
It was that bad.
That
Oh.
was yes, and that's the reason why we still say after independence of India, it didn't immediately change, right? After independence, or around that period of time, when these all we were in the fighting mode, India was in the fighting mode, then the schools again started slowly. And of course, after then, now we have very well established universities of Ayurvedas. There are more than I get 250 universities or so who have a full-fledged program of Ayurveda, whether it's you go and you learn, and you do the MD, and there are hospitals also, not just.
This is just in India. You have 250.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
awesome. Okay.
And every year, if I'm again not wrong, and those maybe the figures may not be correct now because I have the old figures, but at least uh, 12,000, if I'm not wrong, 12,000 Ayurvedic doctors will pass every year.
Very nice.
That is a
So
very number. Yes.
So, do you think that is enough for India as a country or Bharat as a country to do what they are doing, or is there something more that is needed?
So, again, it's not that you only have to create the Ayurvedic doctors. What you really need to do, and what really maybe Bharat really needs, is the practicing doctor as well as research. Because research is a very important aspect of
Agree. Mhm.
any medical system, not
Right.
only Ayurveda, any medical system. And how would you increase the value of that science is by doing research.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that research is not happening. Research is happening in India. Absolutely. I'm still connected with the KHS, is Kasturba Medical, Kasturba Health Society. You might have heard, Gandhiji's wife,
Yes. Mhm.
Kasturba. And on her name, there is a big Kasturba Health Society. And they have a medical research center where the Ayurvedic research happens, real, true Ayurvedic. And I
This is
am
in Mumbai.
affiliated with them.
Is this in Mumbai?
Yeah, it is in Mumbai. They have their uh, the medical center is in Mumbai, in Ville Parle Zoo area.
Okay.
So the things, I'm not saying that it is not happening, but it is the grants and the funding, how much it has to happen. That was not used to happen, at least my time. I am hearing now Modi ji has come and he is providing, and hopefully I always think that okay, some God sent Modi ji at least to create this awareness, and now people are really understanding. That's what I.
So, having colleges and universities and having more doctors coming out of these universities is good. But what are we doing as far as when it comes to a common man who, I should not say just man, common man or woman, when it comes to them, how would we make sure that they understand what Ayurveda is? Because just to give you an example, today if somebody falls sick, I don't know if there are people who will take Ayurveda as their first choice and go to the Vaidya or a Ayurvedic physician instead of a allopathy doctor. How do we educate those people, a common man, to help them understand that Ayurveda is equally, I would not say, I'm not sure if it is more powerful. I would say it is equally powerful. You would know better than with allopathy. So in those cases, how do we educate people to make Ayurveda as their first choice instead of a choice wherein, like when allopathy is failing? This is my personal experience. I've seen people where they look for Ayurveda only after they have failed with the allopathy medicines over a period of time.
So, Ashish ji, one thing I would like to tell here is, first of all the sciences are sciences, right? So nothing is good and nothing is bad. Each one has its own speciality or own things. And so let's not compare that, okay, this is good and that is bad. But one thing is for sure, and which I like to emphasize here, is the approach of healing, what Ayurveda offers, is totally different. You know, it is really different. And I would say it goes on the four main things. So one, aims of Ayurveda, if you ask that why Ayurveda was even written and why it was established, then the very first aim is, obviously it is a medical system, right? So disease prevention. So that
Mhm.
is
Right.
obviously thing.
That's given, yeah.
Yeah, that's given. Then the second thing comes as the disease prevention also. So disease management is a one thing, but disease prevention is extremely important factor in Ayurveda. So even we have this beautiful verse from Charaka Samhita, swasthasya swasthya rakshanam aturasya vikara prashamanam cha, which means swastha means those one who is healthy, to protect his health, who is already healthy. Let's protect his health. And then atura means who is suffering from a disease, give him the disease-free state also. So that is the just second aim, and then comes the third. The third aim is really mind-blowing, that this is a complete still new concept, and which I don't think the conventional medicine has still, I mean, they, of course, they are exploring this, but this third aim is enhancement of life. Now, when we people say enhancement of life means what? So people generally say, okay, is it the life expectancy enhancing? So that's not only the thing. Enhancement of life is starts somewhere way before even you are born. So what does that mean is that you have to create even the fetal stage before you really come into your fetal stage. Before that, you have to give the medication. And it's not a medication, I would not say even medication. Before that, you have to prepare for your health. Does it make sense? Right?
Yeah, I think
Something, this is a totally very, very advanced medicine, I would say. That somewhere they even think that how not just prevent, but what should be done, that you will not even fall sick. So when you say prevention of disease, you would have, okay, antibodies, how to be creating antibodies and the specific disease, and then you are creating something, vaccine for it or something. That is also there. Like first vaccine was created by Ayurveda actually. That is a different story. I mean, I'm not saying the actual vaccine was created. The whole concept of vaccination is there. It says the kuppet swayam visham kuppet, which means the before the poison is to be actually going into your body, make it activate it in a small dose. So that concept was already there, which is the actual concept of vaccine, right?
Okay.
So it has been mentioned that, but I'm saying other than that, so not that just you would not even fall sick. Isn't that important, that you will not have to go to doctor? That thing has been really Ayurveda's one whole goal. And then comes the fourth aspect, and that fourth aspect is what we call it as a awareness development. Now this is a little bit spiritual aspect,
Yeah.
who you really are, and that awareness has to be developed. And that is I think that is also very important as a human being. When you live your life, if that awareness is already developed, your whole life could be different. That
Right.
the oneness would come there. Or if you really understand about the Sankhya philosophy and all that, we can I mean, again, that is again a major part of Ayurveda.
Right.
And that is
So,
the difference. I mean, that's why someone would not even fall sick.
right,
Before
right.
you
No,
go
that's a
into
very
it.
important point for helping people understand that you are not eradicating a disease temporarily. It's going one step further and making sure that it never comes back again. That's what you are doing. It's not a temporary healing that you are doing. So, Dr. Ashlesha, how are we now? I know that you are doing your part as much as possible to educate people and help them understand what Ayurveda actually is and how Ayurveda can help in holistic healing. Now, how can we make sure that the rest of the people who are not from your field, like who might not be from Ayurveda, who other than you is also involved in this, and how are they doing it to help the rest of the world know what are the effects of Ayurveda and how Ayurveda helps in that healing?
So this is, I think, really a good question. I would tell you again a little bit of my personal journey here.
Sure.
And as I said, I mean, we did not talk about that, but I came to US 20 years ago. In that Y2K stage. My husband is a IT executive, and as how all people would come, that's how they basically I mean, we came here. I wasn't actually, you in the introduction you told that you already mentioned that yeah, I was with Cipla, the medical director of Cipla, which was a really good position. I had my own practice, everything, and we still decided to come to US.
Yes.
Not just that we were like financially, there was not an issue. We could have easily stayed there. But we both were so busy that I thought it is that, to have a family and have kids and all would not be possible. Sometimes you have to take a break and go somewhere and then come back. And that was the intention why we came to US.
So before you proceed, one question.
Yeah.
At that point, did you at all, like even for a few seconds, feel that you might not be able to do something with Ayurveda that you were able to do in India? Did that ever occur in your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I was very well aware of that, in fact. And that's why I wanted to come back.
Okay. Oh, okay. You did decide to go back as well. Okay.
Yeah. So, I told my husband even before marriage that he knew that I will give my first 5 years of marriage for my family. I want to raise kids. I want to have them very ideally raising. All that thing had to happen. And that was my absolute aim at that time. And we both knew that. And I was so busy. Seriously, I was busy because I, being a medical director of Lamar, which is a Ayurvedic branch of Cipla.
Right.
Cipla is a very number one company. It used to be that time. And then, having my own practice, I used to practice at Andheri. I had, Ayurvedic consultation practice. It was difficult. Life
Right.
was like absolutely hectic, and he was also busy and well, executive means you can imagine how. I mean, you're from IT, so
Right.
So we said, okay, there we will just go, and I will be on H4. I would not be able to do anything anyway. So let me do and have kids, and then we'll come back.
Oh, that was the condition that we'll come back.
We'll come back, yeah.
Okay.
And seriously, that was the condition. That's why we had even, we bought the house here in Prabhadevi, and everything was setting up like that. But somehow I could not. And how typical Indian, I mean, things happen and you just stay. So that in that period of time, when I came back, I realized that I would say that I am Ayurvedic doctor or I'm MD in Ayurveda. People would like, see what did you say? I mean, that kind of response used to be there. And I'm like seeing here people they are knowing about yoga was like, oh, full, and they would just know, and they would not know about Ayurveda. And I said, how is that possible, and why is that happening? Then I also used to then always give them whole explanation, this and that how it is yoga means Ayurveda and Ayurveda means yoga and all that thing. They would understand or they would not understand, but that's how people were ignorant. And the one thing even happened that those 5 years, not exactly five, but those early years, though I was not practicing officially, I
Mhm.
was always been called, or people would always ask, and they would always, I mean, I was still practicing in that sense. You
Mhm.
got it? Like, it's not that I was had my clinic and I will sit and do that, but I was still the things were still happening. And I was actually still on the Cipla's, Dr. Amarullah, who was the main founding director of Cipla. He was not ready to leave me because he wanted me to still work, and he would say, you still have the visiting card, keep that, you're still on with us, and let's work and all that. That thing was also there. But most importantly, all the other wives which were there came into the in as a IT guys wives. They used to contact me, or maybe even guys used to contact me, and oh, I'm suffering from this and give me this and I'm doing this and that. And I was successfully able to do that with them.
Very nice.
I
Okay.
did not have the medicine as such, so I was not giving the herbs, but I was still giving all those things which we would have at home.
Right.
And that was making the difference. I was used to be busy. My husband would think that, what are you doing at home? You're not doing anything and you're still busy. And I really used to be busy. And people would call me from somewhere else also. And then my India patients would also still call and they say, what can we do this? Or I used to do another program which is called, and which I am still doing, that is called the Suprajanana, which means the radiant child development.
So somebody over here, like there are two comments from Lakshmi Vijayvargiya and Meeta Zaveri. They have explained about Suprajanan. And if you want, I can read them out. Do you want me to read out the comments?
Yeah, sure. Yes.
So Lakshmi says, I have been fortunate getting consultation from Dr. Ashlesha for nearly 9 years. I met her to treat my thyroid, experienced excellent improvements in my condition, and then I consulted her to plan for my second baby. That's when I got introduced to Suprajanan process guided by her. I started the program before conceiving under her guidance. And I was and I'm still amazed by the concept of Suprajanan, which establish your bond with baby, not only physically, mentally, but spiritually. And then Meeta Zaveri says, I have known Dr. Raut since 2009. She has helped with my older daughter's treatment with allergic asthma and then with Suprajanan with my younger daughter. Suprajnan is a very customized plan which starts at a preconception. It's a very highly systematic way of lifestyle and food based plan customized based on both the mother and baby's needs. My daughter is very sharp, caring, intelligent, and in tune to emotion. Since 2017, Dr. Raut has been helping me with other things. That's what Meeta has to say.
So yes, that's what I'm talking about, the Suprajanana. And it is again, as I said, the four things. Remember about the four goals of Ayurveda.
Yes.
That enhancement of life comes. This is an example of that enhancement. Life enhancement. Under that, I would call this as a Suprajanana.
So is this term that is a Ayurvedic term, or is this something that you have invented as a concept?
Right. No, this is an Ayurvedic term. This is a Sanskrit word. Su prajanana. Su means beautiful, excellent. Meaning of su. That's why you say su prabhata.
Right.
Right. So that means su. And prajanana means the whole process of development, child development. I mean, and that's which actually starts even before conception. And I think whatever it is been written, it is absolutely true. That's how we do. So again, coming back to that, those patients were in India. They used to contact me, and it is a whole almost this program runs for a whole year. Because you are before conception you would start, and it will go till your delivery. So it's not just general. People say, okay, pregnancy diet or pregnancy lifestyle. It is not only that. It is much more than that. And we work with both the parents to develop their situation, in that sense that the best ovum would come and the best sperm would come, and that unite, and you would have the best child. So that's the whole process.
So like somebody like me who for the very first time is hearing about Suprajanan, how would you educate people about this? Like, how would somebody like me ever know that something like this even exists?
Yeah, so again, coming back to while practicing, then later on I started practicing, and I realized that education is really the way. And that's how I started teaching in Ayurvedic college. I mean, people, as soon as I started going, my son went to kindergarten, and I really started, then that was enough that I was stayed home. And as I said, I was not like really stayed home, but professionally I started doing and started my practice. People started inviting me for talk, and then we started workshops. I was also teaching in various schools. And then we said, no, if we really want to give the best, so then we also started the school, Ayurveda school, that is that Ananda Ayurveda Academy, and there we really one more important thing I realized that in US people do very just like these are getting very popular now as a yoga. Ayurveda is also getting popular, and people who not just dilute it, simply dilute it, and how people write it on Google and do their own ideas also, they started putting it, and I said, no, this is not Ayurveda. You want to keep the Ayurveda authentic.
Right.
And that's why we always say that authenticity and the experiential knowledge, that's what we give at Ananda Ayurveda Academy.
So is Anand Ayurveda Academy the only institution or the university in the US, or are there others like you?
No, there are others, and that's why I was teaching on many of them, and there where I really realized that you need to have the authenticity to keep. We should do something, and so a group of people came together and we established Ananda. But there are many now. It has been there are at least 20 more schools out there.
Very
And
nice. In all over the US, there are 20 universities.
right. Well, it is not universities. These are academies or private schools, not
I see.
yeah.
So, but you still need to go through the process of getting it affiliated by the government and making sure that.
Right.
Okay.
So it changes. In United States, we have the state-wise different laws, right? So you have to. It is a what we call it as a higher education. So we are under the BHIE, which is Higher Education Board of Illinois. We come under them, and these schools are not the schools where the you can complete, do the high school graduation and come to the school, but these schools are more mainly meant for professional people, right? Those who are already adults and they are already working and they are very good at in their profession, and then they want to learn Ayurveda.
I
Now,
see.
you may think that it is only for doctors, but Ashish ji, I would, you will be surprised to note that we have many IT people now started coming to the field. And this is why, that is what actually we want also, that I don't want just that I'm just educating people. I want them to use that in their life.
Right.
So it's not only that, okay, you're falling sick, oh, come to me, I will give you the medicine. Well, I want to empower you so you will have your own health.
Right.
Makes
Right.
sense?
Right.
So
Yeah,
you
it does.
choose the right thing. You would choose the proper lifestyle. You would choose the proper food. And you would choose your health properly. You will not even fall sick. That's the whole
Right.
idea.
So this is very interesting. So I understand that word of mouth is definitely a best way of spreading about what Ayurveda is all about. But is there anything more that can be done where we can promote Ayurveda better than what we are already doing?
So again, any science can be promoted by three things, I would suggest. One is again education, which we already talked about, and that's why we have this Ananda Ayurveda Academy. Then we could practice, and that's why you educate yourself, you become a counselor, you become a practitioner, and practice that Ayurveda as a profession the way I am doing. So we have Ayurveda for Healing, and we, under that banner I practice Ayurveda. And then the third thing is research, which is also been going on. And NIH is a National Institute of Health, which is a US very well, which comes under the US government. And there they have fundings and for research and write the papers, publish that. So in scientific field also, the enhancement of science is happening, and people would know more, as well as a community base. We do the different programs and we do the workshops, and then go and learn more about the education and take a formal education. So that's what we are offering here. Formal education, again, if you may think that, no, I'm very well, I don't want to, my job is good, I'm enjoying this, why should I go and take a formal education? So it is not only that, it would give you the empowerment. You need not have to go and do immediately tomorrow practice. You don't have to be a professional Ayurvedic practitioner, but even if you would learn the basics, you will implement that. And that is the way that one can get educated. I mean, learn about it, read about it, have the workshops, attend the workshops, and if possible actually go to school. It's not a huge program, and then we have this another aspect given also, that sometimes people would say, I really want to learn, but I'm like afraid for giving exams and tests. So we said, no worries at all. You can have the whole concept of, get the whole concept, understand about it completely, and still not give exam, because you can do the audit class. So audit course is something where you just still come, we teach you everything is absolutely fine. You don't have to give exam, but you get the whole knowledge how the professional Ayurvedic practitioner would get. Again, Ayurvedic doctor is a different level. Here it is only the counselor level and the practitioner level, so which is still a different level. So you don't become directly Ayurvedic doctor, but you become the Ayurvedic counselor, which is almost 500 plus hour course. And so that is also open for you. So it's, even if you're not interested in becoming and taking Ayurveda as a profession, you still have an option. But that is how you would learn. See why, again, remember we were talking about this, that India just unfortunately kept that Ayurveda thing as something as a folk medicine, because Britishers created that way, and it is still taking us time to wipe off that impressions which we have. Though there are many hospitals, though there are many universities, and actually in Mumbai, if you would go now, the KM hospital, Nair hospital, they all have Ayurvedic OPDs.
Oh, very nice. I didn't know.
Also, so those all main hospitals, they would have the Ayurvedic OPDs. Poddar hospital is completely devoted to Ayurveda. We used to have a tremendous patients, and I have done my residency in Poddar. So obviously, we used to see for a OPD 200 to 300 patients per day. So it is huge. Not that people don't know, but we still have to create that awareness. And these are the three ways. So for researchers, that is the whole way. For the layman, education is the right way. And educate yourself, not just for the sake of knowing, but so you could implement that in your real life. And don't fall sick. That's the whole thing, right? So you don't have that situation that where should I go, here or here. You automatically would know what I should do, so I can preserve my health. And even if after that something happens, then we are definitely there.
That's right. So Lakshmi is asking, can you please tell how can we learn Ayurveda formally?
Yeah. So as I would suggest that the best way to learn is to join Ananda Ayurveda Academy. We have actually enrollment is still going on. And we have this 1-year course, which is called as a Ayurveda Wellness Counselor. And then and in the second year, when you complete the second year, you get the certification of Ayurveda practitioner. And these courses, even if you are working full time, these are the courses where which will happen in a once a weekend per month. So for example, Saturday, Sunday, that's a one weekend. In a 1 month, that will be, so every month there will be we will have, and that's how the 12 months program, there are total 14 modules. And then we also meet just once a week, 2 hours online, like it will be a faculty and the student interaction. So that's how that much your commitment is, and then the homework and all those things are as I said, again, if you are not interested, you can still join this as a audit student, or if you're serious about this, join as a full regular student. But both the students would get the same knowledge. The only difference, as I said, ones will get to do the exam, and others will not do the exams.
So I have a couple of more comments from Ruturaj Thakur and Supriya Gaude Gujar. They are both asking, like, do we have any certifications of Ayurveda practitioners available here in Canada, and how can they contact you?
I don't think that certifications are available in Canada. And as I said, wherever you want to do the certification, make sure that you go to the authentic school. That is for sure, because unfortunately, it is happening in US, and I'm sure it must be, North America, everything. It might, yoga. People misunderstand as a yoga training as a Ayurveda training. So they do have the Ayurveda aspect. I'm also a registered yoga teacher, so I definitely know how that works. Yoga schools do offer Ayurvedic knowledge to some extent, but that is very small, and people misunderstand that. That's how they think that is the whole thing is all Ayurveda. You cannot do just one weekend workshop and say that I'm a Ayurvedic practitioner or Ayurvedic counselor. There is
So how would you know that the authenticity of the program? How would you know that?
So we have these there are two main associations. One is a National Ayurvedic Medical Association, and one is a AAPA, that is APNA, which is Association of Ayurvedic Professionals of North America. So these big organizations, what they do is they evaluate the program, and then only they recognize the program. So as I was talking about, that Ananda Ayurveda Academy has been evaluated by both of them, and they both recognize the program. And there are some others also. So their website can give you and show you, but that is how you have to, that is a official way to, maybe you want to search for program, then go to their website and see that. Or what else I would say, that try to see who is teaching the program.
Right.
So there should be actual proper Vaidya who is teaching the program, then it makes sense. If you want to teach anything, you have to have the more knowledge of that.
That's right.
More education you must have taken in that, then you teach a smaller program, right? So there is no point just in going to any school where it is just a smaller program. That may not be, that may be good program. I'm not commenting or good or bad, but what I'm saying, that is not the completeness. Even after these 2 years, it's not the complete, that you don't still get the Ayurvedic doctor degree there. It's still a counselor, but that is also important. And see, that is how the science grows. First, you cannot directly start the Ayurvedic doctor program, right? You have to develop this, then you would develop more of things, and then you can become. And then the second question which they ask, that how do they contact me? They can contact me. Ayurveda for Healing is there. We do do the consultation. I do, and with this COVID thing, it has been growing much, that we do the very secure video consultation, which there is a specific portal devoted for that, where we do the telemedicine, telehealth rather. I would not say telemedicine, it is a telehealth, where I see the appointments on video consultation. So that way,
so basically, if somebody just Googles Ashlesha Raut, they'll get all the information how to contact you, right?
Yeah.
All right, so there is your answer. The next question that we have in, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that one. Suvarna Naik is asking, can you share more details on how and what can we learn to be able to make use of Ayurveda in our day-to-day life? Now, one thing I wanted to mention to our listeners and our viewers over here, that we recently started with a new segment called Sehat Baatein Nahi Purani, wherein one of your students, Dr. Anisha Singh, is in conversation with Dr. Deepak Acharya, wherein Dr. Deepak Acharya is like a renowned herb specialist. I would say he is the one who is doing research on the tribal medicines, how the tribal people basically they use different herbs and different shrubs and trees to cure all the different diseases that we have. So we just recently started this segment, which is on Sunday at 10 a.m. At 8 a.m. Sorry. And this will be a bi-weekly program. So please tune in to that program. You will get a lot of informative session on that. And the one segment that we have already had, the one episode that we have already had, is on our Facebook page as well as on our YouTube channel. So please go there, watch that episode, and make sure that you tune in every Sunday, not every Sunday, bi-weekly for that program. Now, one last question, Dr. Ashlesha, $1 million question. How is Ayurveda helping in these tough times with COVID-19?
Good question again. So I would say yes, it is helping really well. And the reason behind that is, as you would know, there is no actual treatment for what we are suffering in this pandemic era.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, the real answer is that, you have to enhance your immunity,
Right.
rather than just finding for the treatment as such. The immunity, if you enhance your immunity, then there is no scope, like there is no problem at all that you would contract the disease. Right.
So the answer from Ayurveda world is basically to increase your immunity. That's the best way to handle it, right?
Absolutely. And it's not, again, immunity is not a pill. Like you eat the Ayurvedic pill and you will get the immunity. It is
Right.
everything. It is all knowing about how you eat, how you would have your lifestyle, and then how properly you use your spices. And then there is a whole aspect of, again, the yoga and spirituality also to that. That is how Ayurveda is helping to those who know that.
Right.
Again, the research is also, a lot more research is going on. I don't want to comment on that because it is still in interim research. Yet the findings are not out there, but huge research has been going on.
Thank you. So we have come towards the end of our program. Before we end, any last few words which I might have missed to ask you?
No, I would just say that, health is wealth, that but when we say invest in your health, don't think health is expense. It is actually the investment.
Okay.
Invest in your healing, not just in health. So the healing is the main final aspect of that health. So that's why invest in your healing, and that you can do only by learning, educating yourself, and then all the paths will open automatically.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ashlesha Raut, for this session, for a wonderful session, informative session. I'm pretty sure all our listeners and all our viewers definitely enjoyed this session and learned a lot about it. And I'm pretty sure some of them may contact you directly to understand it better. So with that, friends, we come to an end of this show, Rubaru, with Dr. Ashlesha Raut. And please tune into Bharat FM channel on our website, on our Facebook page, and look at the different content that we have from all the different varieties of the feed and that we have. And please help us in growing by supporting us, by giving your feedback, by giving your comments. And we would like to grow with your help. So continue your support for us. Thank you very much.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I'm really happy to be here.
Thank you.
This is Bharat FM.
बजेगा भारत, झूमेगा भारत.
ये है भारत FM.
बजेगा भारत, झूमेगा भारत.